I would say there are a couple kind of leaders. I think there are leaders of people that are great coaches, right, and mentors, and will help you reach your highest heights. And then there are people who are more thought leaders and kind of visionaries, so they're executors and strategic thinkers. And I would put myself more in the strategic thinking of trying to take the long view on what it's going to take to solve whatever it is, the problems at hand, and then bring up the resources to be able to accomplish that. Those kinds of moments when you can get lost in something, that's your passion, and that's, to me, something you should go for. For me, I've always followed that passion. To me, I guess I didn't look at the money for jobs. I really didn't look at the title. I looked at what is it that I feel passionately about? What at the end of the day am I going to feel personally good about doing? Until I ran into Dr. King's philosophy and the 6 steps for social change, social impact, that really was transformative to me, because in the genius that is Dr. King, he was able to encapsulate everything that I already felt was true when I look at the works of John Lewis and the people who came up through the movement, whether they were big people, like Dr. King or Ralph Abernathy or Bayard Rustin or John Lewis, or whether they were people you never read about who did something extraordinary, like Cheyenne Webb. That's somebody who, she got mesmerized by Dr. King and the foot soldiers who were doing work in Selma. And her story is really unique because she did all that when she was 8 years old. There aren't that many people who would step out and, I know she sidestepped her parents, but that kind of youthful energy, etc. Betty Fikes, Ruby Sales, all these people as young people, they were ordinary people, and they just found a way to a crowd that thought the way they did, but were willing to question one another. Really good friends will question you, right? As you're proceeding with what you're doing, they will ask serious questions and make you think twice. And that's kind of the posse that you need around you when you're doing this work, because it's like Dr. King says, right? We have to question our own motives, hold ourselves accountable for what we're doing.
Something that we really find important at the Freedom Center is being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because when we're uncomfortable, we can strive for deeper and more meaningful and honest conversations. And so while uncomfortable, we struggle with taking the initiative and taking the first step, whether that's starting a conversation with someone we may not know to build relationships and connections, or taking the first step in asking a question during a leadership seminar such as this. So what advice can you give us to really step out of our comfort zones and take that first step?
Sometimes when you step out of your comfort zone, people will see that courage and they will want to respond in kind. In the end, I think many of us are afraid of taking that first step. Mm-hmm. And that's part of leadership. When you open up the dialogue in as constructive a manner as you can open it up, you will see people step into it who might feel the same way. And following the King principles here, right? Not making it about the person, but about the policies. If you're talking political or social matters that you want to have a conversation in, removing the personal context to it and making it about the policies and presenting it in such a way that that will open people's minds and hearts to it. It's hard. Here's what I find with the work that I do is it doesn't come immediately. It takes trust and it takes time.
Where does faith come in? Not necessarily religious faith, but a faith in a better future, or a faith in a better anything, a better tomorrow, and where does that spirituality tie into it?
It figures in everything. You think about your own personal values. Like, what is it that drives you? What are your character strengths and virtues that drive you to do what it is you're doing? With members of Congress, they all come here, right, to make a difference. They might have completely different viewpoints. So they all have faith that they're going to make a difference and do it in a way that's consistent with the spark that led them to service. And that's what makes my job particularly interesting, is because when you come here, you're at events, you have to raise $1 million, you're far from your family, you have all these external pressures that when you were at home just thinking about, oh, I really want to go out and change the world, you didn't have all these obstacles to move through. If you don't have that core sense of who you are and what you believe in and how you want to personally conduct yourself, no matter what anybody else around you does, any leadership role is going to be really hard for you, because you're going to be swayed by all the pressures that are around you. Michelle Obama said, something about that being in a pressure environment like that reveals who you are as a leader. I'm going to run you through one thing that I do with our small groups, and I'm going to choose a poem from the Sufi mystic Hafiz, and it's called With That Moon Language. So if you just center yourself, if you want to close your eyes and think, I'm going to close my eyes. So it's with that moon language. Admit something. Everyone you meet, you say to them, love me. Of course you don't do this out loud, otherwise someone would call the cops. Still, though, and think about this great pull in us to connect. Why not be the one who moves through this world with a full moon in each eye, saying what every other eye in the world is just dying to hear? Thank you all.